All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. This is Vanessa Horn coming to you from San Diego, California with Pure Romance by Vanessa Horn. This is my first video, so I apologize if I'm a little nervous for this. But my sponsor, Monique Bolden, my Pure Romance mom, challenged me to make a video to summarize the training that we just came back from Las Vegas. This was our national training. We had some really great speakers come to us. We had Mary Christensen, we had Brian Tracy, we also had David Bach, we had our founder, Patty Brisbane, talk to us for a little bit. We also had Darren Hardy, and also those were all of our speakers that came to talk to us. A lot of the things that I took away from, I will talk about on this video, but the main one being our goals. My sponsor asked me, what are your dreams and aspirations and goals? And I paused because I hadn't actually thought about those in a long time. I thought about my immediate goals that I've been thinking about, which are just, paying my bills. But I hadn't thought about my long-term goals in a long time. And it had been a while since someone had actually asked me that. So if money was of no issue, what are the goals that I have to save up for, which Pure Romance is going to get me there. So my goals are paying off my debt. I really want to get tattoos. I want to travel. I want to travel all around the world and take Raina with me. I want to run a marathon. I want to send Raina to all of her classes that she wants. She wants to do ballet and gymnastics. I want to start a SEP IRA, and I want to start investing 25%. I want to buy a house, and I want to read more books. I want to continue to stay a student. I want to finish my degree. I want to finish my culinary management degree. I want to spend more time with my family. So those were some of my goals that I had come up with, and they're always going to be evolving as life goes on. But it was really great to put it on paper. Don't just think it, ink it. Because less than 4% of people who actually have goals write them down. Really less than 4%, that's it. Writing them down makes them a lot more attainable. So some of the highlights from Mary Christensen, who talked to us about sharing the opportunity. Let's see, number one that I want to talk to. The first thing she came up to us and said, there are two types of women out there, those who use sex toys and liars, which I thought was really funny because it's very applicable to Pure Romance. But she also talked to us about stop wearing your childhood like a trophy, to victimhood. A lot of us use our past as an excuse for us succeeding in the future. When you make excuses for not succeeding, you give yourself permission to not succeed. What else? If you want to find it, if you want it, you'll find a way. And if you don't really want it, you'll find an excuse. Don't let mistakes that you make define you. Things will go wrong, and if you expect them to go right, you'll be frustrated and feel defeated when they don't go right. Life is going to happen. Let's see. So choose one goal that is so powerful that every time you think about it, your heart bursts. If your goals don't scare you a little bit, they are not big enough. And as long as you don't have those, if you have those horse blinders on and all you can see down that road is that goal, then the challenges that life throws at you won't be so bad. Let's see. I already talked about that. A lot of people don't join Pure Romance because of the fear of failure. They what if I fail? But what if you succeed? If you can raise a family, if you can run a home, you can do this business. In this business, you're not competing against anyone else. You are your own business owner, and the only person that you're competing against is yourself. So if you are beating yourself down, then you just became your own obstacle. Let's see, number 9. It doesn't take courage to, it doesn't take confidence to succeed. It just takes courage. The confidence will come later. We all start out as the ugly duckling, but then eventually we will transform into swans. We were not born to be cubicle dwellers. And all you have to do is just identify the strengths that you have when you start a new endeavor. And then you just work towards the strengths that you need. Pick a strength that you know that you need in order to succeed, and then work on that. But you have to start with what you have at that time. You don't have to be confident. You just have to be courageous. Keep looking forward with those horse blinders, and don't let distractions take you off of that road to success. So that pretty much summarizes what I took away from Mary Christensen. She's the author of Be a Networking Leader, and Be a Recruiting Superstar and a Direct Selling Superstar. And then next, I wanted to talk about is Brian Tracy. He is the author of No Excuses. And so he talked to us about personal development and leadership. Let's see. So only 3% of poor people have a big goal. That might be one of the reasons why they're in the financial status that they are at the time. Let's see what else he wanted us to pick one skill that we know that we need to improve on, and work on that until you have mastered that one skill, and then move on to the next one. He didn't want us to complicate our plans on success with too many different goals. Just pick one skill that you need to improve on, and then practice that until you have mastered it. Let's see. So he is really big on remaining a student, always staying a student, knowledge and skill. So if you pretend that you are climbing the ladder to success, and it is an actual ladder, each arm represents knowledge and skill, and you cannot climb that ladder with just one arm, and you just can't do it. You need knowledge and you need skill. You can't just climb that ladder with either one. So your most precious resource that you have in your day is time. Every time that you get electronically distracted, it takes you about 17 minutes to get back on track. So think about every time that you check your email, check Facebook during your day, every time you need to get back on track, it takes you about 17 minutes. So the most profitable time in your life, he was talking about how the future is the greatest place in the world, because the future is the most profitable time in your life. It contains the happiest moments of your life and the greatest achievements in your life that you have yet to experience. And so every day you just need to work towards that future. The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your decisions. You become what you think about most of the time. So if you are beating yourself down and you're saying, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that, I don't have the capability, well, then that is what you will become, because those are your thoughts. You need to change your mindset in order to change your business or change your life. Say no to things that are not profitable. In order to be successful in a business, you don't just need willpower, but you also need won't power. You need to say no to the things that are taking you off course. Every master was once a disaster, kind of going off of Mary Christensen with the ugly duckling analogy. We all started from the bottom and now we're here. So why don't people take on new things? Again, the fear of failure, they what if themselves, what if I fail? But it's really they will not start something new because they haven't mastered that skill. And what they don't know is that they just haven't mastered that skill yet. We all didn't know how to drive at one point, and it might have been scary to get on the road with other cars, but you just didn't master that skill yet. But you got in that car and you learned to drive, and now you know how to drive. And so that was really the major points of Brian Tracy. And so now I'm going to move on with, let's see. Oh, David Bach. I'm now going to go on with David Bach. He was the financial guru that talked to us. He started out with what age is the most appropriate age to start teaching children about finances. And if you were to give a child a $1 bill and then showed them a $100 bill and ask them which one is worth more, or which one would they rather prefer, when they choose that $100 bill and they understand that the $100 bill is worth more than the one, then they're ready for you to start talking to them about finances. So he is the author of Smart Women Finish Rich. And so a couple of facts that he gave us, which really put things into perspective for me, whereas women-owned businesses make 1.4 trillion in revenue. 48% of millionaires are women, and that number is predicted to grow to 60% in the near future. Women in the household control 83% of household purchasing decisions. Duh, we were actually surprised. We thought that number was going to be a lot higher. More women graduate college from men. And unfortunately, 40 to 50% of marriages end in divorce. But what's so awesome about Pure Romance is that you can what is the word I'm trying to say? You can boil down marital issues to two things. It comes down to finances and sex. And fortunately, Pure Romance fixes both of those. You are your own boss, so you make your own money, and then the product line of Pure Romance will solve any sort of sexual conflict that you may have. So he was wondering why people say now I'm like lost. Anyway, his grandmother told his grandfather one day that they were poor, and they were like, no, all of our bills are paid, we're not poor. And she broke it down and said, look, we're living paycheck to paycheck, we don't have anything left over after our bills are paid. If anything were to happen to me, or either of us who are the income bringers of the family, we'd be in trouble. And if an emergency were to happen, we would be in trouble. So essentially, we are poor. And so she took that drive, and she became her own boss, and she brought in the income that family needed in order to not only survive but to thrive. He explained that there are 6 routes to wealth. You can pick either one. You can either win it. We were in Vegas. A lot of us won some money at the casino. You can marry into it. You can inherit it. You can sue for it. You can budget for it, or you can do what we're doing, or you can earn it. And how you earn it is you pay yourself. He emphasized early retirement programs, your IRA, get a 401k, get a SEP IRA, start putting away money for the future. The different percentages of what you want to invest will be based on the lifestyle that you want to live. If you are wanting to live paycheck to paycheck, don't invest anything. If you're wanting to live upper middle class, you need to invest 10 to 15. If you are looking to retire early, this is what I'm trying to do, you need to put away 20 to 25% of your income. The latte factor, which was hilarious. A lot of us go to Starbucks first thing in the morning and we go get our latte. How much does that cost? Take that amount of money that you spend on your latte and invest that. A lot of people think, I don't have any money, and they're like, well, how much did you spend on your coffee that morning? So take that money, invest it, and you'd be surprised of how much money you can put away just by using that latte factor. Pure Romance is going to be your vehicle to your financial freedom if you save it. Be a homeowner, not a renter if you can, because if you are not putting away money in your retirement, if you are not a homeowner and you're not investing, then you're just watching other people save money and make money. So save your money, keep your savings hard to access, keep it separate from your other accounts that you use day to day. Make a living will. You do not want to have an out-of-date will with your ex-spouse on it, and then when you move on and all of your money goes to your ex-spouse's, you will be rolling in your grave. Make sure you get life insurance. Take care of your family. Make a protection plan for your family. get life insurance, and then also build a dream account. Write down your dreams and then make them happen by making a dream account. So that was David Bach. And now I'm going to move on to, I believe, Brian Parsley. Brian Parsley talked to us about selling like a boss. We are a direct sales company, so he really wanted us to sell like the bosses that we are. But what I really took away from that was he started out with a gigantic dose of in-your-face realism. Like, what he asked us, what do you deserve? And a lot of us answered different ways. What do you deserve? The answer is nothing. You get what you put in. You don't deserve anything. You deserve what you work for. What is the cost of your current associates? Are your friends, I hate to say it, but are your friends losers? Then, if you just surround yourself with that type of crowd, then that's going to reflect on the type of decisions that you make. You need to surround yourself with people who are ambitious and goal-driven and more successful than you, so that they can influence your decisions. We all weren't born to be sedated and work in cubicles. Let's see. What else did I write down for him? So we all have, now that we're written down our goals, we are all interested in doing these things, but whether or not we act upon them is the real question. Interested people stay on the sidelines, but committed people get shit done, is what he told us. He was not sugarcoating anything for us. Let's see, what else? So, fear keeps us a lot of times from achieving our goals. But what if you were just 10 times braver for that one moment, during that one phone call that you needed to make to a client, during that one conversation with a stranger about your business? You really want to go skydiving. That's something you really want to do, but you're afraid to do it. But what if you were just 10 times braver for that one moment? What would you do, or what would you say? So it is not, when people say, oh, it's not about winning, it's about doing your best. When they give you that attaboy, everyone gets a ribbon at the end of the race or at the end of the game, and they say it's not about winning, it's about doing your best. Losers make excuses. That is basically an excuse for not winning and not succeeding. You can do your best, and if you're not winning, you need to change the choices that you are making. Give it 100% every day, even when no one is looking. Everyone can, but not everyone will. So Brian Parsley is the one when you need that kick in the pants. Darren Hardy, he talked to us about igniting the compound effect. His theory, which makes complete sense, is that everything can be boiled down to choices. Make every day count, and all the choices that you make during that day accumulate to the compound effect, is what he talked about, igniting the compound effect. Let's see, getting over a rough childhood or upbringing or adversity. Your adversity is your advantage. Adversity that we face in our childhood or in our past makes us different, and sets us apart from the masses, and it makes us work harder because we've had to overcome adversity. So there is no secret to success. Success is hard work, and it's not sexy. It is laborious, it's defeating, it's frustrating, and it's not necessarily what society might make it out to be. It's hard. And a lot of times people are not successful because they are looking for a quick fix. What gives you short-term pleasure will give you long-term pain, and what gives you short-term pain might give you long-term pleasure. So I really like that he said that, because you really do need to have patience, because the small choices that you make might not give you immediate success, but as long as you have patience, the positive compound effects will eventually come. And it might not be for a long time, but as long as you keep working at it, they will come. You cannot own success. You can only rent it. And the rent for that success is due every single day. It is let's see, the difference between, oh, no, I'm going to skip that. Anyway, so he did give us another dose of reality. We were sitting through several motivational speakers, but he was saying you can read all the books you want to, you can listen to all the audio programs, you can listen to all the motivational speakers, but he made the metaphor of you as a person being the operating system, and all the knowledge that you learn being the software. Knowledge is not necessarily power if you are not ready to absorb it. So you cannot have a successful software program if the operating system is malfunctioning. So it all comes down to the tiny choices that you make every single day that accumulate to the big success that you hope to gain. What do successful people and unsuccessful people have in common? They both hate what they do, but successful people do it anyway. Let's see, what else? So it all comes down to choices which build into habits. Habits start to become your default behavior, and then the amount of time that you devote to, I don't know what I'm trying to say, towards your success, I guess. So he also talked to us about what do you want to become, and then write down the description of the type of person you want to become, the type of business you want to run. Write down that description, and then what is the difference between that person, that successful person, and yourself, who you are now? What are the differences? And then make those changes so that you become that person. So that, all in all, was a summary of the speakers that we heard at our national training. It was amazing. I will give a shorter summarized video as well, and also talk to you guys a little bit more about my business specifically. So thank you for listening. This is my first video, and I will hopefully be making more. Okay, bye.